Book 1, Chapter 28. Whence it came that the Romans were less ungrateful to their citizens than were the Athenians. In the histories of all republics, we meet with instances of some sort of ingratitude to their great citizens, but fewer in the history of Rome than of Athens, or indeed of any other republic. Searching for the cause of this, I am persuaded that, so far as regards Rome and Athens, it was due to the Romans having had less occasion than the Athenians to look upon their fellow citizens with suspicion. For from the expulsion of her kings down to the times of Sulla and Marius, the liberty of Rome was never subverted by any one of her citizens, so that there never was in that city grave cause for distrusting any man, and in consequence making him the victim of inconsiderate injustice. The reverse was notoriously the case with Athens, for that city, having, at a time when she was most flourishing, been deprived of her freedom by Pisistratus under a false show of goodwill, remembering, after she regained her liberty, her former bondage and all the wrongs she had endured, became the relentless chastiser, not of offenses only on the part of her citizens, but even of the shadow of an offense. Hence the banishment and death of so many excellent men, and hence the law of ostracism, and all those other violent measures which, from time to time, during the history of that city, were directed against her foremost citizens. For this is most true which is asserted by the writers on civil government, that a people which has recovered its freedom bites more fiercely than one which has always preserved it. And any who shall weigh well what has been said will not condemn Athens in this matter, nor commend Rome, but refer all to the necessity arising out of the different conditions prevailing in the two states. For careful reflection will show that had Rome been deprived of her freedom, as Athens was, she would not have been a whit more tender to her citizens. This we may reasonably infer from remarking what, after the expulsion of the kings, befell Collatinus and Publius Valerius, the former of whom, though he had taken part in the liberation of Rome, was sent into exile for no other reason than that he bore the name of Tarquin, while the sole ground of suspicion against the latter, and what almost led to his banishment, was his having built a house upon the Kelian hill. Seeing how harsh and suspicious Rome was in these two instances, we may surmise that she would have shown the same ingratitude as Athens, had she, like Athens, been wronged by her citizens at an early stage of her growth, and before she had attained to the fullness of her strength. That I may not have to return to this question of ingratitude, I shall say all that remains to be said about it in my next chapter.